Hi, Brian. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for meeting with me.
Of course. So today we're here to talk about some of the things that you've been noticing with Geo. So we'll talk a little bit about those and discuss some ways that maybe possibly we can move forward. So tell me a little bit about what you've been noticing with Geo.
I've noticed he's always had these kind of behaviors as far as not listening, and especially when he is being told to do something. But it's been getting progressively worse
Okay.
when he doesn't get his way or continue what he wants to be doing at the time.
Okay. Anything else?
His reaction whenever he does have one of these episodes is more of an aggressive nature.
Okay.
He'll throw things, or he'll say no, or he'll begin crying and making himself cry even more and more and get riled up.
Okay. So he's not listening, not following directions when he's being told to do something, and usually his reaction to that is aggression, like crying or throwing things like that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So when you say his reaction is aggression, what is, other than the crying and throwing, what else does that look like?
It just kind of intensifies the not listening. That becomes a separate issue on its own. The initial, request would be to, hey, stop watching TV. You gotta go take a shower or something. So that initially will begin him crying. He'll kind of be against it, and then now he's gonna be crying on top of not doing what was told or what was requested. He'll now make a crying spell. He'll throw things, and then we're totally talking about a different topic at that point of him getting all upset and mad.
Okay. And about how long, I guess, does this occur from the moment you give the direction until he's able to kind of regroup and calm down? About how long does that last?
With intervention, if I stop him, as soon as I stop him, it takes about 2 to 5 minutes for him to stop crying. Then another maybe 3 or 4 minutes to talking it out and have him do the initial request. If uninterrupted, he'll cry and make himself cry and scream and get louder and louder. And there's no measured amount of time. He'll go for hours.
Until he is approached.
By
you or an adult figure.
Yes.
Okay. And on a scale of 1 to 5, about how would you say intense he becomes?
On average, about a 5 or a 6, but he does vary. And if left unattended, he'll become a 30, it seems, in no time.
Okay. And how often are you finding that this is occurring?
Lately, it's increased, and so it's multiple times per day.
Okay, so multiple times per day. Now, is the aggression and the crying, is that always following when he is asked to do something that he is not willing or wanting to do?
Yes. It every time follows, especially what I've noticed is after school or closer to bedtime, he'll be having these behaviors.
Okay, so out of those, I guess, which would you say has the priority, which would be our main focus, the main one, and which ones would be secondary to focus on?
I would say the not listening.
Okay.
And failure to follow instructions. That's the major or the primary behavior that I'm concerned with. And the secondary would be the shutting down and becoming angry and throwing things.
Okay. So he has issues with following directions when he's told to do something that he doesn't want to do.
Yes. And
he has a reaction of aggression, throwing things and crying. Which can last about 2 to 5 minutes until he's able to calm down. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, and if he's left unattended, or not unattended, but if he's not approached by you or another adult, he will continue with those behaviors until someone intervenes. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And usually on average, with a scale of intensity, it's about, you said, a 5 or a 6, and this happens multiple times a day when he's asked to do something that he doesn't want to do.
Yes.
Okay. Sure, that can be very frustrating for you.
It truly is.
Yeah. So what are you noticing that happens, I guess, right before? So yes, he's told to do something, but what is he doing, I guess? What's happening right before he's told to do something?
Typically, I've seen the behavior exacerbated when he is, like, he'll be playing video games or watching a movie or coloring or something, and then the request is, hey, go brush your teeth, you're getting ready for bed, you're going to take a nap. These kind of things to stop whatever the source of entertainment is.
Okay.
That's usually what leads to these kind of eruptions, in my recollection.
So when he's doing a preferred activity and asked to stop, that is majority what's going on before he refuses to follow the directions. Okay, and after, so we did discuss that after he can get aggressive and throw things and cry. But after that, so after you intervene and after the 2 to 5 minutes, what are you noticing that happens?
It depends. I've tried multiple approaches. Talking to him and reasoning at that time and explaining more in depth, he'll be more apt to follow. It takes him maybe another 3 to 4 minutes to like redirect and actually follow through with that initial request.
Mm-hmm. That's a really good strategy for him to get him to understand, what you're asking him to do. So have you noticed a specific time of day that he's more apt to not follow directions? Like, for example, is it before school? Is it after school? During dinner time, or when are you noticing?
Typically, because most leisure activities and preferred activities happen after school, that's when the increase of chance of likelihood of him doing or exhibiting his behaviors, gets a higher percentage. It's usually after school. Okay,
and this is at home. What if you are in a and like, let's say at a public place, so let's say you guys maybe go to the playground or the library, and how would he respond in a public setting?
Same way, if not worse.
Same way. Okay. So any setting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so typically it's about after school. So what are some of the, what would you like to see instead? What behavior would you like to see instead?
I would confess to you, I would rather him be able to openly express his frustrations and his feelings using his words versus, not throwing things.
Okay.
And ideally, for him to listen.
Okay.
That's the primary, the most important part. And secondary, I would like him to use his words to be able to communicate his frustrations, his feelings. Okay, so we've talked about that. Typically, when he's doing a preferred activity, is what happens. It's happening right before he's refusing
to follow a direction. And afterwards, immediately afterwards, when an adult approaches him, or let's say when you approach him, you're usually talking with him, reasoning with him, trying to explain, the situation and what he's needing to do and why he needs to do that. Is that correct?
Yes.
And this is typically happening, I guess, on a school day, typically after school. But it's occurred in many settings, and sometimes it'll be the same or even more intense than it can be at home.
Yes.
Okay. And so something that we would like to see is using his words to communicate. What would you like him to communicate, I guess, to you in those moments?
If something he doesn't want to stop is, why do I have to stop? I would like to continue this. At least say I'm frustrated. I would like to continue. I don't want to stop.
Okay.
But then maybe we can still reason and maybe compromise at some tones when available, instead of him going 0 to 100 quick and throwing things.
Okay. Have you tried things before with Gio?
I have. Unsuccessfully, I've tried some things like timeout, and also, punishment of restricting certain activities. You don't get to play video games today, not tomorrow, whatever.
Okay.
And those have not worked. It just intensifies the behavior at that moment, makes him cry even harder. If you tell him like he's not going to be able to play video games for a week or so.
Okay. So those timeouts and restricting have found to not be effective for him, particularly in that moment when he's upset. Okay. Any things that you have found to be successful at all?
Yes, including him in the choices, giving him acceptable choices when available. Some things can't be, chosen.
Right.
But when I can, I try to give him choices and make him feel included in the decision-making process.
Mm-hmm.
And that has served very, very successful.
Okay. So, very successful. I think that is a great idea of giving him the options, but within an appropriate boundary. So I think that's something great that you've been doing with Gio. What are some of Gio's strengths?
He is very honest. So he's also very, very open.
Okay. Very honest and open. And I'm just going to jump back for a second. When you do give Gio options and include him in those choices, how different does that look than before when you don't give him a choice? How does that look when you do give him choices? Since you found that to be successful.
His behavior-wise, what does that look like? Or what does it appear when we talking?
Yes, so could you give me maybe an example of a time when you gave him options and that it went well and kind of what that looked like?
Okay, I'll say something like, okay, it's bedtime. Make sure, you go brush your teeth right now and we'll save the game so we can play tomorrow in the same place. So you can start in the same location. So tomorrow you get to play after school. So that has worked to where he'll go, okay, I understand I'm going to play tomorrow, and I can play tomorrow. I'm going to go carry out the action that I was requested to do.
Okay. So he will. Okay. And... okay, so we did say that the timeouts and restricting did not work, but however, you found that giving him choices have been successful. And then some of his strengths with him is that he's very honest and very open. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So it seems that when Gio's approached by you, that he is able to kind of, after you're talking to him and explain, he is able to kind of regroup, calm down, understand the situation, but also be able to continue on with that, with that direction after some time. Would you say?
Yes.
Yes, he is. Okay, so it seems like you guys have a good relationship where he's able to kind of be able to listen to you and be open to you. Would you say?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so I think since some of those things have been effective, so I mean, with you talking to him and explaining, being able to get him to calm down, um, you know, and you're wanting him to be able to communicate more, so including him in those choices, and I would say that that's something that we should try to continue with him, is to give options within a boundary, and kind of monitor the times that he is able to use his words appropriately, so to communicate with you how he's feeling, what's going on, and when he's able to follow those directions. So maybe if we can create some sort of chart or a sticker chart, so every time he is able to use his words and he's able to make an appropriate choice and follow the directions, he can earn, let's say, a star. And we set a goal for him. So let's say he has to earn 3 out of the week. And when he earns 3 out of the week, we can, provide some type of positive reinforcement for him earning that goal.
Sounds good.
And that way we can kind of provide him with that praise of, when I use my words, or using my words is a good thing. What do you think about that?
I agree. I like that. I like the way that sounds.
Okay. So, I have some sheets you can use, that you can use to chart here, this lovely chart.
Awesome.
That you can use to chart. It's broken up by each day of the week.
I see.
So, you can do, stickers, tally, you can have him do it, you can incorporate him into it, but anytime that, explain it to him, and anytime he's given a, direction where he's able, or he's able to use his words, or he's able to appropriately choose those options, if there are options available, as you said, he is able to, earn maybe something of his choice, and maybe you guys can come up with some options of things that maybe he can choose from, whether it be video game time, whether it be a treat, whether it be something like that. Okay?
Okay.
So I'm just going to kind of go back through and just kind of summarize through everything that we talked about here today. Our main focus today was with Gio not listening and following directions when it's something that he is not willing to do. Sometimes those reactions can be aggressive, and he'll cry or throw things, and it can be pretty intensive for about 3 to 5 minutes until he's approached by you or another adult to kind of calm him down. They can happen multiple times a day, and that you found that it's usually when he's doing a preferred activity. And so when you come to him, you're able to talk to him and reason with him and get him to kind of follow up on that request. And we're noticing that these can happen in any setting, but typically with routine, it's after school. And we're working with him, and we want to get him to try to be able to express himself more, to use his words, to be able to communicate things like he's frustrated, or he's angry, or, maybe even just, can I have a few extra minutes? And things like timeouts and restricting have not worked, but you have found success with providing him with choices and including him in decision making. So I guess to move forward today, I'll send you home with these forms and you'll be able to do what we talked about. So starting a sticker chart with him and allowing him to earn, stickers for when he is using his words, when he does make an appropriate choice, when options are provided, and then when he reaches that goal, he can earn some type of, reinforcement, a treat of his choice. Does that cover about everything that we've talked today? Is there anything else that, you would like to add or that you would, like me to take note of that you think that we didn't talk about today?
No, you've been more than helpful. Thank
you. You're very welcome. So let's say we do this for, let's say maybe about a week, and we'll just do it for a week. We'll see what we're looking at. We can come back and we can talk about things that didn't work, things that did work. See if we need to make any changes or how we need to move forward. How does that sound?
Sounds amazing.
Okay, so next week, I'll be in contact with you so we can meet again.